What's up? This is Eclipse. I'm here to do a commentary on how I beat Katana Zero in less than 17 minutes. So we're just gonna get right into it in 3, 2, 1, go. So I'll be crouch rolling, which is the fastest way to move. I just hold down on the analog stick or the D-pad and just roll at a specific rhythm. If I mistime the roll, then I won't be going anywhere. I'll just be standing in one spot. So it's really hard to time, but you gotta maintain a rhythm, and then you actually end up going faster. I can actually roll through these lasers because iframes. Now we can also wall jump as well. So now we will manipulate the enemies to come at us when we turn the lasers on and off. The enemies are not smart to not go into the lasers when the lasers have appeared to turn off. And now we're just going to kill these guys and get out of here. And the main rule of the game is you got to kill all the enemies and go to the next room. That's pretty much how you progress in the game. So now we're just going to call the elevator, kill one dude. His friend is pretty scared for very good reasons. Now we're gonna grab objects and throw them at enemies. So the interactable objects are disposable. So you gotta make proper use of them since they can one-shot an enemy, just like our sword. Actually, enemies die in one hit, but so can we. So we gotta be very careful about that. In the last room, after this, there is an off-screen target we have to kill. Looking at him wastes time because there's a little brief cutscene that he jumps off the building. But if we kill him first, he won't do that. He's already dead. You didn't even see him. So we're just crouch rolling our way back. And we kill the last dude in the elevator. So in Club, the first part is just a little stealth mission, but we're gonna get through these guys really quickly. We hide behind the first guy first, and then walk into the second guy, then jump into his sights and get to the door. We did take a little intentional death. However, since we got to the door first, we were able to not really quote-unquote die. So those are the cameras. The cameras will lock us if they see us. So this area, I just gotta pay attention, not mess up. But in the last room is pretty much the same as the first room, except you're going backwards. There is an enemy that will spawn and follow us if we go down to the bottom floor. He spawns at the door. However, if I throw a bottle at this little door right here, and I drop down, then he will die before he even spawns. Or he'll die right at the moment he spawns because there's a bottle coming at him. So that was Club, and this is Prison. Prison is a very simple level. There's not a whole lot going on. All the enemies, or pretty much most of the enemies, are dead because someone was here first. And it's just crouch rolling. That's all it is. It's not very easy to optimize. It's very notorious in the community for, although it's an easy level, it's hard to optimize. You're talking about frames and not messing up crouch rolls. So these are the enemies we do have to kill. Well, we don't have to kill them if they don't see us, but because we gotta pass through them, they'll see us. Now we're just getting to the last area of Prison, which is basically the first way we came, and we're out of there. You saw that little brief moment where I paused. That's what happens if you mess up a crouch roll. You'll just crouch in place and not go anywhere until you can recover. So Studio is divided into 3 floors. We just go from up to down. You actually loop up in the menu and go down in the level select. So this is Space. Space is the first one we choose because, as I talked about menu-wise, it's faster to choose from up to down, or from down to up, looping. in that direction. So yeah, we grabbed our first key. It's a very simple floor. You just keep going forward. As long as you practice the strats. So yeah, we're just going back the way we came. There's a lot of this going on, just going back the way you came. We can roll lasers and just activate the next room, Quiet Hills. This area kind of tests your deflect skills. So the next room, there's a bunch of enemies that will be shooting bullets at you, but I could just deflect the bullets and kill the remaining ones. Yeah, learning that room is pretty tight. You just gotta get the rhythm of deflecting the enemies there. So the next and last area where you grab the key is just an auto-scroller area. This would be a really good time to read donations because you're just in a minecart and you're not really doing anything except maybe interact a bit, open doors so the minecart doesn't crash into things and pass the enemies. That's really it. So yeah, this would go on for like a minute. So now we got our last key, and we're going to open the one long gate that takes us to the last area. So this is the last room. And now we're fighting our very first boss, V. V is this big mob boss. He's a drug dealer. He's a tough guy. It's a hard fight. Very hard. Very challenging. Look at this. Very challenging. And he's done just like that. So now this is Mansion. This is V's little hideout. He got away. We did not really kill him. So we will be at a little Western standoff where he just has a gun at us and we have a sword. We'll just slap that gun away. None of that here. But he runs away like a coward. And we gotta continue chasing him. We will create a blackout in the mansion, which gives us a tactical advantage to go forward without being seen. We still gotta kill the enemies, but we have the advantage. So the next room is a fire room, which is really tight. Because I gotta throw a Molotov into the barrels without killing myself or falling down. So here comes explosions. Yep, they're all dead. So we'll be fighting Kissy Face. Kissy Face is really simple. You just gotta pin him down 4 times and just cut off his head and his arm. So yeah, it is really simple. Really not a whole lot to talk about here. After this, there is a motorcycle section, which is just kill all the enemies, and the road will spawn a new wave of enemies. That's pretty much all there is to it. So yeah, we killed Kissy Face, he's gone. And we're just gonna kill these enemies. We can pick up objects on the way. However, it's pretty crucial you know when to use the object because you only get so many. And this is cone skip. You gotta knock the cones out of the way so the game loads faster for the next area. And the run may look spliced, but it actually isn't because we have a little reset button that is something we could just use if things don't go our way. we could just reset the room. So it'll look like I quickly transition into like a different area with like no smoothness at all, it's just cuts. But that's because we use the reset button, as I said before. And now we're going to be fighting V in a helicopter. The fight's very simple, but it's still a little scary because you got the missiles coming at you, but you got to deflect him 3 times. That was our first. And there are missiles that will come at us. These ones are not so bad, but it's the next set that is really, really bad. So the missiles will home at us, but there are a few spots that are RNG that we gotta not get hit by the missiles. That was not a good pattern. I mean, it kind of was, but the missile drops are RNG, so we gotta be careful about that. But yeah, that was a V fight. He's done. We don't have to face him anymore. So Chinatown, I start this real simple. I just do the consistent strat. And we could just get by this room, ignore the drones. But if we hit the drone in the 3rd room below, things explode. And this room, I gotta throw the statue as early as possible. And the enemies stay below. This room did not go too well, and I just kept getting shot. The next time I do pretty well. There we go, that's good. So that's an easy 6 or 7 second time save. The rest of this level goes pretty well. It's really simple, just throw the bottles and kill these guys. So the next level is Dragon Tape, where you get to play as a different character for like 1 minute. Instead of throwing objects, he can do a long-range dash that works as a cooldown. So we can just kill all these guys in 1 slash and 1 dash. So we can also dash into lasers, but we gotta be mindful of the cooldown time we have. I was really close to the laser, thank God I did not get killed by those. Yeah, this room is pretty hard. A lot of juggling around the enemies. And this one, I attract enemies by both sides, so they'll come down to the door below. Let's kill them all. And then I make my way around the rest of this room. And we're into the most notorious level, Slaughterhouse. So Slaughterhouse has this thing called Leon Skip, where if you kill the enemy in the next room without activating the camera, what's going to happen is there will be no cutscene played. So there's supposed to be a cutscene here, the door was supposed to shut before we proceeded forward, and the TV was supposed to be talking to us, but none of that. We did not activate the camera, thankfully. And this is the infamous Crusher Skip. What I do is I crouch roll through the conveyor belts that take us backwards, but we get through and we don't have to wait for the crushers. It's really notorious. It's very easy to get killed by them. And this section is pretty cool. I have the Semtex below, waiting for the enemies to come up and then explode it, and then they're dead off screen. This is another cycle skip. I activate the switch early as possible, then I roll through these enemies and kill them all, and just hopefully I do not have to wait for the crusher to drop. I just skipped that. Yeah, this stage is all about crusher skips and juggling all these enemies around and exploding enemies off screen as well. So because we did Leon Skip, these rooms are kind of free. You just gotta roll under these cameras precisely, and the gates will not shut, because if we did not do the Leon Skip, we would have to fight a horde of enemies, and we had to listen to the TV speak. But thankfully, we don't have to do that. Now, this is Bunker. Bunker's divided in like 2 parts. This is Bunker Part 1, where there's these vignettes of levels that are divided into elevators. They kind of test you on like the fundamentals of the game, like blowing through the lasers and dealing with like a cluster of enemies, like right here. And you also got to interact with explosives as well, like here. I did not kill the enemy right there, but this time I did. And I gotta dodge these bullets, and he's dead. Yeah, we're at the near end of the first part, and we are at the most exciting room of the game. Look at this. Look at all this challenge. Very entertaining. But in serious and all, it's just crouch rolling. So, after the last room, not this one, but after the next one, there's this crazy descent that I had to come up with in controller. A lot of the PC keyboard players have their fast way of doing it, but I had to come up with like a way to do a controller where I descend really fast without staying on the floor for so long. So this is it. So I just deflect bullets and keep rolling downwards. It takes a lot of practice, but I ended up pulling it off anyway. So I do bounce off the shield guy right here unintentionally, but I just get through anyway. Thankfully I was able to kill him. And this is the last room of enemies. I just take this very simple. It doesn't look simple, but that's because I'm attracting all the enemies to come at me. I've done this many times. It gets scary once in a while, but I had confidence I was able to do it. So this is the final boss, Headhunter. Headhunter is pretty much just hitter, take out the enemies. You don't really have to take them out, but if you leave them unchecked, they can make a fight very difficult. So that's Headhunter Phase 1. We're into Phase 2, which is the final fight. She's very simple, just hit her and then take out the turrets, then hit her again. Don't get hit by the lasers. Then she's done. So time's gonna end when I get in the vault. I'll have to use a retinal scan first of her head. And the vault's gonna open, but when the screen turns black, the run will end in 3, 2, 1, now. So that was barely sub 17. I ended up pulling it off. It took me a while to get it, but it's done. I got it. I definitely do want to optimize this run further on, so I become one of the fastest controller players in the leaderboards. But yep, that is Katana Zero, done in 17 minutes. Thank you for watching.